Okay, Dr. Carter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hack Foundation's virtual seminar on plant giving. I am Dr. Lainey Carter, the proud Vice President of College Advancement at Hack, Central Pennsylvania's Community College. I'm also the Executive Director of the Hack Foundation. Next slide. Leaving a legacy with Hack, simple ways to support students through plant giving. Thank you again for being here this afternoon. We're going to share with you practical advice and answer any question that you may have towards the end. We're so honored that you chose to spend this time with us. Next slide. We have two amazing presenters for you. Today, they are Diane and Mark, and they're going to tell you who they are and what they do. Diane and then Mark.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend some time with us. We're excited that you're here, and we're really looking forward to educating and giving you some solid information on plan giving. As Dr. Carter said, my name is Diane Grove. I am from the firm of Boyer and Ritter. I'm the Director of Operations here for over 31 years. And I'm also honored and privileged to be a member of the Hack Foundation Board, where I serve as the vice chair as well as vice chair of the allocations committee. And I'm also on the nominations and executive committee. So thank you. Mark?
Thank you, Diane, and thank you, Lainey, and thank you to Hack for having me here. And of course, all of you taking part in this webinar we have today on plan giving. Over 30 plus years in the business, just got done serving my board seat on the National Committee on Plan Giving. I serve on the Foundation Plan Giving Committee here at Hack. I'm looking forward to helping you with your personal stories, your affiliations with Hack. Personally speaking, my son just finished Hack and he's now a senior at Temple, and he really, really looks back at his time at Hack of giving him a strong foundation to forward through in his chemistry degree at Temple University. So there's a lot of, I say, the three T's: time, talent, and treasure when it comes to helping those that you support. So hopefully you'll find something within our presentation today that will motivate you to assist Hack and Hack students in the future. Next slide, please.
The impact of the Hack Foundation is immeasurable, literally, in every sense of the word. The Hack Foundation is a nonprofit organization, which you're familiar with that concept, and its sole purpose, its only purpose is to support Hack students. So take a look at the numbers on the screen. This is from July 1st, 2024 until June 30th, 2025, which is our last fiscal year. The Hack Foundation gave more than $1 million to students in scholarships, meaning we were able to help students pay for their tuition, their books, and/or their fees to attend the college. If it were not for these monies, many of these students, I would dare say most of them, would not have been able to afford to attend any college, including Hack, and we're very affordable. In addition, we have emergency assistance funding. Our students struggle with finances. Some of them are housing insecure. Some of them cannot afford food. Some of them have been impacted by fires. Their cars have broken down, emergencies. And so this last fiscal year, we were able to award more than $66,000 in emergency funding to our students. We believe in giving our students a hand up, not a handout. And last but not least, and we gave students $103,000 in tuition giveaways. And you may say, well, what is a tuition giveaway? It is an incentive for students to attend Hack. When our recruiters go out into the community to entice people to attend Hack, we will sometimes offer them vouchers to be able to enroll at Hack and to then have part of their tuition paid. So that's what you see with the $103,000. We are a very generous foundation because of our generous donors, and many of you are already donors to the foundation. And I thank you so much for your generosity in the past and being here today. Without our donors, none of these amazing numbers would be possible. None of them. Next slide. So, how can gifts change lives? In addition to the numbers that I shared with you before, naturally, we provide scholarships. We also provide emergency assistance funding, but we have 5 campuses at HAC. If you were to walk through any of our 5 campuses, there are so many examples of projects that were funded by the foundation. You cannot walk through any campus and not see the impact of the foundation. The foundation has provided equipment for students to train on. We have provided professional development for faculty to stay in tune with their crafts. We provided uniforms, name it, we've done it, right? We look at some of our nursing labs. We have remarkable nursing programs. That equipment that you see, if you're familiar with it, funded by the foundation. Literally, we have an automotive lab that was funded by the foundation, a welding lab that was funded by the foundation at all 5 of our campuses. And this is because our donors invest in HAC and they invest in our students. And we literally could not do this work without you. Our equipment is so advanced at HAC that when our students are trained on the equipment that donors help to fund, when they graduate from HAC and they go into the workforce, the equipment that they work on in their paid jobs is not as good as the equipment they were trained on at HAC. That is just one example of the impact of your philanthropy and your support. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. So why think about legacy now? What is the reason that you need to start thinking about this now? It's important that you start to think about aligning your estate plans with what your values are. The other reason is on that step 2 of the slide here, provide a lasting support for HAC students and programs. As Dr. Carter showed in the previous slides, we are just short in 1 year's time of supporting close to 1,000 students. That is not just changing one student's life, that's changing many students' life. And that is impactful from tuition giveaways, from scholarship funding, and from the food intolerance. This is all sustainability for our students. So any dollars counts. You can arrange the legacy giving with your attorney or your financial advisor very easily. It's a very simple discussion. And remember, you do not have to be wealthy to make a meaningful planned gift. Legacy really is truly about aligning your plans with what matters most to you. And even a modest bequest can make a real difference. As Mark already said, it's time, talent, and treasures. And this is changing students' lives, and that changes our community for the better. Next slide, please.
So what is planned giving? It's often discussed, it's thrown around a lot in the media. You hear it quite a bit, but basically it's a way for you to outline your charitable giving. It allows you to support causes that matter to you, however, in the future. So these gifts will be completed upon the good Lord calling you from the earth. So you still have control of them while you're here. Your will, your living trust, your life insurance policies, your retirement accounts are all different types of assets that you could use when you're talking about planned giving. Next slide, please.
So bequests are the simplest way to leave a legacy. And as we've already said too, thank you so much to you that are here attending. I know a lot of you already give to HAC, but if you can even take this information and share that with your friends, your family, your network, and really, it's all a matter of conversation. Explain to them how these bequests are. It's a really simple, I know it's a difficult conversation sometimes to have this, but this is truly one way that you can feel that you are doing something when you leave this earth, that you're giving a good way to leave a legacy. So it's a gift made through your will or your living trust. Bequests are often, as I said, the simplest way of all planned gifts. And truly, you remain in control of your assets during the entire your lifetime. And you can change these plans in any of your circumstances change. And there's some example bequest language there too. And bequests are usually the most flexible and they're very easy to update and they're the starting point for most donors. So thank you. Next slide. So let's talk about some ways that you can structure a bequest to HAC. There's some benefits here on the left and your options here. The benefits are they're usually very easy to understand. They're flexible as your estate grows or changes, and you can support specific funds or they can be restricted per your choice. So you really are in control of how you want to, develop your planned giving. There's options as well as you can give a fixed amount. As you can see that example there, you want to leave 10,000. Again, we said any amount makes a difference. So I know that's a pretty large number. So that's just one example. You can leave a percentage of your estate. There's an example there. There's also residuary request remains after your gifts and expenses are done in your will. And you may direct your gifts to scholarships, the Emergency Assistance Fund, or specific campuses or programs by the foundation. So there's many different options, and that's the really nice thing about these bequests. Next slide, please.
So, for example, life insurance policies can be a gift. This could be an existing policy you have, so you don't have to go through the underwriting and prove that you're healthy and everything else. It could be an existing policy. You just simply name HAC as the beneficiary. And of course, Tom and myself can help you out with that. But the change of beneficiary, like I said, to existing policy, it could be the purchase a new policy where HAC is the owner and HAC is the beneficiary. And what will happen is you just donate the money to the premium each and every year. And then you get a tax deduction when you do that. But it's taking out a life insurance policy on your life. It may be the most affordable way to make a much larger gift to the school, but that's up to you. That's up to you. You know your health better than we do. All life insurance is based on your health and your age, but it's a very, very common way to help leverage your gift to the HAC Foundation. Very simple and easy way to go about it because quite frankly, everyone has probably bought a life insurance policy when you bought your first home and you protected your mortgage, or you wanted to have income replacement for your children in case, God forbid, you predecease. So this is a very common way because a lot of people have experience with it. Next slide, please. Again, it's not for just the rich and famous. It's not for the Rockefellers out there. Everybody nowadays has a retirement plan, has an IRA, has, like I just said, has gone through life insurance. And by the way, Diane and I are not here to interrupt any relationship you currently have. We're happy to work with your advisors or not. You can meet with them independent of us and just bring Tom and Liney in on it. But legacy gifts come in many different sizes. It could be gifts of mutual fund shares. It could be gifts of stock. It could be, hey, I got this property, this income property over here, and my kids don't want to be a landlord. It could be many different places. And it reflects really what values you most. You could specific it, like if it was my son might want the money to go to the chemistry department or the sciences to further careers for those students because that's where he came through. But leaving an inheritance to HAC is not only for the rich and famous, as I said. You could start for as little as $5,000, and I'm sure we'll even take smaller than that. But we've worked with property in different states. We worked with businesses in real estate and land in different states. Just have the conversation. Have the conversation to see what fits your values and how can HAC participate. Next slide, please. Other easy ways. This is really, I think if you look in today's media and on financial websites, these are the things that are probably going to pop up the most if you do like some kind of Google search. But retirement accounts, it used to be your home, used to be your largest asset. Now we're finding that it's retirement accounts, whether it's your 401k, 403b, SEP, IRA, what have you. IRA standing for individual retirement account. Those have a named beneficiary. You're the owner. Um, you named the beneficiaries. It bypasses the will, so it's a contract. It goes directly to whoever you want. But when you leave it to your kids, nephews, nieces, there's a tax consequence that happens. Uncle Sam always wants to take a bite out of it, with the exception of a nonprofit like the Hack Foundation. So again, you can have more of your money go to that institution more so than with the children. And if you think about it, you could probably replace that gift with life insurance, which is tax-free to kids at your death. So the financial investment account beneficiary designations, we always say take a look at them about every 3 years. Things may have changed. You may have had grandchildren. You may have had a nephew, niece move by, what have you. Gifts of stock or personal property, always very, very, I mean, Antiques Roadshow. Think about that for a second. You bought something for $1 and now all of a sudden it's worth several thousand. Um, there's a lot of different types of stock as well as personal property and collectibles that you may want to give to Hack. Your advisors, and again, we're not looking to interrupt any relationships you currently have, but your advisors in the Hack Foundation can help you explore various options. Next slide, please.
I now want to tell you about real life plant gifts. On the left, you will see the late Dr. Alfreda Johnson. She was a retiree from the college and she loved the college. When she passed away a few years ago, she left part of her annuity to the Hack Foundation to support students through scholarships. We also had our largest contribution to date from Mrs. Gloria Paxton. She was a widow and she was in her 90s and she left 75% of her estate to the Hack Foundation. She was not a graduate of the college. How she grew to love us, she would come to campus to attend events. She watched the college grow over the years. She was impressed by the leadership and the core values and the impact and decided to leave that transformational gift. Her gift supports students is related to STEAM. And STEAM is an acronym: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And so these remarkable women, while they did not know each other that I know of, what they have in common is their love for Hack and their generosity for our students. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. Now, as Dr. Carter just said, those were two really huge and impactful donors that were able to make, substantial differences in the lives of students here at Hack. But again, as we said, this is not just about the rich and famous and those who are the various wealthy or have those means. It starts with any kind of donation. So we appreciate any interest or anyone that you have that you would feel free to reach out and get some information. So what are those next steps? You want to reflect on the legacy you want to leave for students and the community. It's a conversation that you need to have with your attorney, your financial planner, or advisor. And also, feel free to visit any of the plan giving resources that we have at this link below. Shortly here, you're going to hear from Tom, and he will give you lots of great information and ways to connect with him if anything that you've heard today really sparks an interest. I just had a really great opportunity over the weekend. One of our friends was at the candlelight concerts, and it was at the Rose Learman. It was a concert for the Imagine Dragons, and I think it was Coldplay. And they said it was tremendous. What an opportunity that Hack has that. And I said, well, how you can make those things keep happening? Start giving. So that's any opportunity. It's like people don't think about it. It's in your backyard, and that's usually what ends up happening. The best kept secrets are usually in your backyard. And how do we sustain that? By giving. So I thank you for listening to us today and letting us share our experiences. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Mestel. I'm the Executive Director of Philanthropy for the college and a member of Dr. Carter's team. So the tools that you see on your screen right now are on the Hack Foundation website. And we will be, I apologize. We will be sending out the slides afterwards so that you can see those. The Plan Giving website has a lot of information on it as we've reviewed in this session. So please, take a look at that. So we also encourage you to reach out with any questions. We will have a period of time here at the end for any particular questions you may have today, but you can see on your screen how you can reach us. You can mail us, email us, or give us a phone call, or scan the QR code that's on the screen. And again, this will be in the slide presentation that will be sent to you. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Basically, with the QR code, you point your phone at it, take a picture, and it opens up a contact form that you can fill out. So now we're down to the point where we want to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please type your name into the chat, and we will call on you to unmute, and you can ask your question. So, okay, no questions. So again, thank you